No matter how hard you try, it's never enough. You could do everything right and still feel like you're falling behind. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. It's like we've been conditioned to believe that unless we're constantly achieving, constantly proving ourselves, we're failing. There's no in between, no room for good enough. And I think that's why rejection stings so much. It's not just about the thing we didn't get, the opportunity that slipped away. It's about what we think that failure says about us. Because the moment that something doesn't go as planned, it's like this little voice in the back of our head whispers, "See, you're not good enough. You never were." And maybe that sounds dramatic, but be honest, how many times have you failed at something and immediately thought, "What's wrong with me?" Instead of just thinking, "Oh, this didn't work out, that sucks, but I'll try again." And that's the thing, we don't just experience failure, we internalize it. I do this all the time. I'll fixate on one thing that went wrong, completely ignoring all the things that went right. I could have a day filled with amazing adventures, getting stuff done that I've been putting off, having a really good conversation, and actually feeling okay. But the second one bad thing happens, that's all I see. It's exhausting, and what's worse, it's unfair. Because when you really think about it, why does one moment outweigh all the good ones? Why is one setback proof that we're failing, but 100 small wins never feels like proof that we're succeeding? We actually never stop to acknowledge the times we handle things better than we would have before, the times we didn't quit, the times we pushed through. And I think that is part of the problem. We are always looking at what's missing, at what we still haven't achieved. But we never look at how far we've come. So what if instead of obsessing over failures, we started noticing the wins? What if we stopped waiting for some huge successes to give ourselves permission to feel like we're doing okay? Because here's the truth. You're probably doing better than you think. You just haven't been paying attention. That's the thing with perfectionism. It makes us believe that unless something is extraordinary, it doesn't count. Unless we're the best, the smartest, the most successful, it's not even worth acknowledging that we always have to be doing something, always proving ourselves. And this is not something we only think about ourselves. We're trying to see life this way. Being in the social media space makes it even worse. We're constantly surrounded by people achieving impossible things, making massive progress, getting everything they ever wanted, or at least that's how it seems. And it tricks us into believing that if we're not on that level, then we're not doing enough. It's easy for us to see the highlight reels of people and think that their lives are always like that. But here's what no one tells you. Most people aren't achieving at that level all the time. They are actually just showing the highlights. They're showing you the wins, but not the moments when they struggle, where they felt like they were failing behind as well. And I think most of us know this. Yet, when we look at our own lives, we judge ourselves based on everything, the highs, the lows, the in-betweens. We don't just compare our best moments to someone else's best moments. We compare our worst moments to their best. And just like you can't compare apples to pears, you can't compare your worst to someone else's best. It just doesn't seem fair, does it? Because then of course we feel like we're never doing enough.
To be honest, today has been a very weird day because it started off very good, but then I received an email that I've been waiting for. The response I didn't really want to hear. It just makes it feel impossible right now. All I can do is just keep on trying. But then at the same time, I don't really want to, you know. But after I received that email, I've just not been there. At least my presentation went well. But yesterday, actually, I forgot because I literally was so tired that I had to go to sleep early. I went to this vegan market and it was so good. Everyone there was so nice. Still dreaming of those pancakes, and that's actually why tomorrow we're gonna have more pancakes. But yeah, just having a conversation with my dad and my mom yesterday really helped. Plus I got to do the voiceover for my next video, and that actually really helped as well. I had a lot to say. I know it's gonna get better. Now I'm tired. I'm trying to sleep earlier and fix my sleep schedule, so I should probably go to sleep now. This whole week is gonna be a lot of meetings and stuff, so yeah, I just wanted to take you along so you can see a bit of my life when it's a bit chaotic, I guess. This is just a reminder, guys, that days are not black or white, and that's something I keep forgetting. Tomorrow's a brand new day. Love you guys a lot.
Receiving that email at the start of my week really bummed me out. I wanted this opportunity so badly, and being rejected made me feel like I was doing something wrong. I really felt like I was behind because when I moved to Berlin, I had a plan in mind. I had kind of made a timeline, so getting the email just made me feel like I wasn't doing enough. But then, if you actually think about it, are we actually not doing enough when we feel behind? Or are we just focusing on the wrong things? Truth is, the way we measure success is flawed. We're constantly looking for the big defining moments, the dream job, the perfect body, the huge milestone. But life isn't just made up of those moments. It's made up of the small, quiet wins, the little improvements that happen over time, and most of them, most people don't see and will never see. The way you show up for yourself today, that matters. Maybe not to the rest of the world, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't matter to you. The way you pushed through something you didn't think you could, that counts. Even if no one saw it, even if it wasn't perfect. Maybe the problem isn't that we aren't doing enough. Maybe the problem really is that we're only giving ourselves credit when it looks a certain way or when other people can see it. But I get it. It's hard to change the way we think overnight. It's hard to just decide to stop caring about perfection when for so long it feels like the only thing that matters. I used to obsess over my grades. I used to obsess over being perfect at home. I never wanted my parents to get mad at me. I was always trying to be the good girl, always trying to seem like I was juggling everything perfectly. I would always try to get the highest grade. I would try to train the hardest that I could. If I heard someone could read a book in 10 days, I would try to read it in 5. And while it seemed fine for a while, trying to be perfect all the time was truly exhausting.
I love this big pad, it's so crispy. Right now I'm just waiting for a packet to arrive, so in an hour I have to leave. I hope it arrives before that.
But let's just have lunch.
But the thing is, in a way, perfectionism kind of feels safe. It gives us the illusion of control. Like if we just do everything perfectly, if we never mess up, if we never get rejected, then maybe we won't have to feel the discomfort of failure. And we've been taught to fear discomfort. And I've come to realize there's something that no one tells us about perfectionism. It doesn't protect you, it just holds you back. Be honest with yourself. How many things have you put off because you were afraid of not doing them perfectly? How many opportunities have you walked away from because you weren't sure you'd be good enough? How many times have you convinced yourself that if you can't do something at 100%, it's not even worth trying? We are so afraid of failing that we don't even give ourselves the chance to succeed. And that, my friends, is the real cost of perfectionism, not just the stress, not just the pressure to always overachieve, but the fact that it stops us from even starting. Because when you aim for perfect, nothing is ever good enough. And when nothing is ever good enough, nothing ever feels finished. Because you're always waiting, always trying to tweak everything until you're satisfied with it. Always telling yourself that you'll be proud once you get there, wherever there even is. Because in reality, our goals always shift. A goal is an end place, but when you have an aim, that is something that can shift, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're always told that we have to be specific with our goals, but actually, if we're too specific, we're kind of limiting our potential, because what if we could achieve more? Having a goal doesn't allow for that room to expand, to go beyond that end point. It seems like when we reach there, we will be perfect. And in order to get there, we need to start perfect as well. But what if you just decide that what you're doing now, as imperfect as it is, as messy as it might look, as unfinished as it feels, is enough? There is no perfect moment to start, and there is no perfect moment to end. At some point, you need to realize that you cannot wait any longer to go and achieve what you truly want. So much of our stress, our self-doubt, our constant feeling of not being enough, it comes from this belief that our worth is something we have to prove, be it to others or to ourselves. That unless we have the achievements, the results, the validation to back it up, then maybe we don't actually deserve to feel proud of ourselves. It's still hard for me to feel proud about anything I accomplish. I always feel like I could have done more, and most times I feel like it's not even that big of a deal. I used to be terrible at public speaking, at giving presentations. I actually used to get so stressed. And while I was presenting, I normally always failed because I couldn't get the words out. But now I love it. And the little 11-year-old me would never believe if I told her that I could actually give presentations now. And I actually think she would be very proud, speechless, but nevertheless very proud. But guys, I just got the packet. Let's see the goodies that I got. I'm on a rush because I have to go to an event, but it's okay. So we have a little merch here. I like the color actually. Some stickers. Oh, and a little keychain. A little bag. We have some sticky notes. And look how cute they are. A boba straw. I've always wanted one of these. We have a little bug. Oh, what is this? It has bubble wrap though. Okay, maybe it's just me, but I love popping all of them. No way, look at this. This is such a cute cup. Perfect for the bubble straw. I love this. Let's go to the event and see what that's all about. Something else I've also come to learn after the 3 years of traveling abroad is that at the end of the day, what defines you isn't your accomplishments. It's how you handle things when they don't go as planned. Think about it. Two people can have the exact same failure, the exact same setback, but what makes it different isn't whether or not they failed. It's what they decide to do next. Do they give up? Do they let it convince them they weren't good enough? Or do they keep going? That is what actually matters. Not the perfect outcome, not whether or not you get everything right the first time, but whether or not you keep showing up even when it's hard. And the ironic part, the people who actually succeed in life, if you think about it, if you read their stories, aren't the ones who are perfect. They're the ones who are willing to be imperfect, to go against the grain. The ones that decide not to let others' judgments or jealousy affect what they truly want to achieve in life. The ones who are okay with failing, with learning as they go, with taking action even before they feel ready. And I think it's because they know something most of us don't, and that is that done is better than perfect. No matter how small, it's always better than overthinking. And that's what I'm trying to remind myself every day, that I don't have to have it all figured out, that I don't need to be the best at everything, that my worth isn't tied to how flawless I can be, but to how I choose to keep going even when I feel like I'm falling behind. And maybe that's just something that you needed to hear too, that you have so much value, and being imperfectly you doesn't make you less. It actually makes you so unique without you even realizing it. I know it's not easy, letting go of perfection and learning to be okay with good enough, trusting that you're doing better than you think. It takes time. I'm still trying, it's still hard for me, and sometimes it's tiring. It takes unlearning everything I've been told about success, about achievement, and about what it means to be worthy. And maybe the real question isn't how do I become perfect anymore? Maybe it's how do I let myself just be human? How do I let myself finally be myself? You don't need to be the best, you just need to be better than yesterday. And maybe one day you'll realize the moments you thought were failures, they were actually the ones that were making you.